So, good morning, everyone. This is Michele Molitor here with Wonder Women Unite. It's our bonus expert hour call today. I'm very excited to have Miss Tammy Kabell as our guest speaker. And Tammy hails from Kansas City on the Missouri side. And she is amazing. Her company is Career Resume Consulting. I've known Tammy for many, many years now, and we've collaborated and worked together on a variety of different things and always had a really great time doing it. And one thing that I love about Tammy is that she's like a squirrel. She finds all these great things and then she collects them and then she shares them with me. New tools and new tricks and ways of working online to improve our business and improve our presence on the web out there. Whether you're a business owner or an executive in a larger firm, it doesn't matter. Tammy's tools and her expertise with LinkedIn is vast and wide and deep. So I'm thrilled and delighted that she's here with us today to share some amazing information. And I know that you guys will all get a ton of value out of it and that you'll be able to immediately put things to good use. So you're going to want to be sure to take lots of notes today, I guarantee you, because she is fast-paced and fast-moving and has a lot to share. So I'm going to mute everybody else on the call so we won't have any background noise. And if you need to ask a question or would like to ask a question, just shoot me a note in the text in the chat box there, and then we can go from there. All right. And there'll be times when I'll unmute everybody for questions and whatnot, but I'm going to turn it over to Tammy now and take it away. Tammy, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you very much. And I am going to share my screen pretty quickly, and I'm lucky enough to be working from home this morning instead of my office, and so I don't have a webcam on. However, I am going to share my screen so that you can see what LinkedIn looks like live. And so I'm going to go ahead and start that so that we can get the presentation started, because I've got a tremendous amount of information to share with you guys, literally a full hour's worth. So Michele, can you hear me okay? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me okay.
Yes, your sound levels are just fine. So fantastic.
Perfect. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and click on share my screen and the desktop. Let's see. And I'm going to do the full desktop. Wonderful. Okay. So everyone, can you see, just to make sure, can you see my homepage? And you see this pretty woman's face here?
Yes.
And everyone can see that. Great. Okay, so we're going to get started. So just to give you a brief background of how I've learned what I've learned and what we do, I own an executive career firm. So one of the things that we do is we help build LinkedIn profiles from scratch, because what I find is that a lot of executives that are looking for jobs just have horrible LinkedIn profiles. And really, we need a combination of being visible and also being highly compelling once we are seen. So I'm going to show you how to become visible and also to become highly compelling. And I've crafted this presentation so that it's applicable to business owners, and also whether that be a small business owner or a larger business owner, and also applicable to executives, no matter what size business you're in. If you're looking for a job, here's the deal. You should always be open to opportunities. And so just as an FYI, if you're an executive, I'm going to show you how to be more visible on LinkedIn. And recent statistics show that 70% of employers and 90% of recruiters use LinkedIn as their exclusive form of finding their executive talent. So it is really important that you find yourself to be very visible so that people can find you and perhaps have a conversation with you. And you never know if you've got a great presence online, you never know if somebody's interested and might offer you a better opportunity, because you are the CEO of your own career, whether you are the CEO of your own business or you are working for another company. So I'm going to show you how to become more visible to your target audience. That audience might be customers if you're a business owner, or recruiters and employers and networking partners if you're an executive, okay? So, you know, with those recent stats, it basically means that LinkedIn can really be a powerful tool to get you in front of the people that you're wanting to meet that can propel your business or your career forward, okay? So most of what I'm going to teach you today is going to apply to both business owners and executives working for an employer, and I'm going to show you through my own profile, but in the cases where it's going to be different for a business owner versus an executive, then I'm going to toggle back and forth between samples of myself as a business owner and a couple samples of some executives, okay? So let's go ahead and get started on the information. So if you go to your homepage on LinkedIn, I just want to show you how to quickly get into your own profile, okay? So you'll want to do that by going on the left-hand side, and you just click on your name on the left-hand side right underneath your pretty picture, okay? And you go to your profile. So this is what my profile looks like to anybody who is visiting my profile, okay? So the first thing I want to show you is a little bit of some background info that you've got to set yourself up for, and I'm gonna go really fast. So this is going to be recorded. You don't have to take notes if you don't want to right now. You can always watch the recording later, but I'm going to go pretty quickly because it is going to be recorded. So the first thing I want to show you how to do to become more visible is under me in the upper right hand corner. If you click on me, you would want to go to your account settings. So under account, you would go to settings and privacy, and it says, Tammy, you're the boss of your account. That's great. So it shows you how many connections you have, and then a couple of things that I want to show you under account. You've got basics, privacy, and communications. So under basics, you can do feed preferences, and let me see if there's specific things. Oh, you can save job application answers. If you are applying for a job and you want to save those answers for other jobs and make it really easy to apply, you can do that here. And you change it simply by coming over here and changing it to yes, okay? And then, let me see. Okay. The only other thing I wanted to show you here is under privacy, you can, who can see your connections? So if you are in sales and you don't want your connections being seen by other people, you can change it so that your connections are not seen by other people. And also profile viewing options. This is really important. If you want to be visible to other people when you're looking at other people's profiles, change this to full profile. This has actually been one of the secrets to my success of getting so many people that want to connect with me, is that I changed this to full profile so that when I go out and look at somebody's profile, they actually get a little notification that says, Tammy Kabell viewed your profile, and it shows my picture and it shows the header, which is the information underneath my name. I'm going to show you what that header says and what yours should say in just a moment. But if you want to go into stealth mode and you want to look at somebody, if you're stalking them and you don't want them to see that you've looked at their profile, you can change this to private mode. However, I think that a lot of times it defaults to private mode. You want to make sure it's in full profile over here. And that way, when you're looking at somebody, they've seen that you looked at them, and then they may want to connect with you because of what you've got listed underneath your name. And we'll talk about why that's so important. And let's see if there's anything else. That was mainly it, except for if you are an executive or someone working for an employer, or if you're open to recruiters or someone else knowing that you're open to opportunities, there's something new with the brand new user interface under job seeking privacy account settings. Let recruiters know that you're open to opportunities. So it says, share that you're open and appear in recruiter searches matching your career interests. So keep that in mind. I have it changed to no because I'm not interested in recruiters getting to know me. However, at this point anyway, because I'm a business owner. However, if you're open to opportunities, your employer will not see this. This is a very private setting, but if you're open to opportunities, change this to yes. You will be surprised at the number of views and how that increases if you change this to yes with this simple change, okay? So we're going to go back to my account. I'm going to view profile. Okay, so very quickly, it's important to have, this is just a basics, it's important to have a great picture on LinkedIn. It needs to be a professional picture. I do not recommend having a snapshot, and if you can tell it's a snapshot, for instance, if you took it in your car, you can tell it's a selfie, or if you can tell that you've cut other people out of the photo, then you want to change your profile picture. Either have it professionally done or go to a studio to do it. The most important thing is that you're smiling and you're showing your teeth and you're smiling with your eyes. That's really the most important thing that you've got. People don't really, I'll tell you, it's interesting. There was a study that said 16% of people's time on a LinkedIn profile is spent looking at the person's picture. So if you don't have a picture on LinkedIn, put one on, because people don't care what you look like, but they do want to know what you look like. So do put that on there. I also wanted to give you the pixels, in other words, the dimensions of the background photo, because sometimes that's hard to put in there without it getting all stretched and looking weird. So the pixels are 974 by 330. So if you're going to take a picture of anything that you want that will represent you, go ahead, and I think that it is a premium feature to have a background photo. But if you do have any of the premium accounts, then you can put a background photo on there, and you'll want to use those pixels to make sure that it's not stretched out or looking kind of weird or pixelated, okay? Now, let's talk about what's underneath your name. When Microsoft bought LinkedIn, they've increased the number of characters that you can put underneath your name. What most people have underneath their name is their job title. So for instance, I used to have CEO, author, speaker, thought leader, career resume consulting. Then I realized people don't really know who career resume consulting is, and they don't really care. But what they do want to know is, how can I help them? So another game changer for me was when I changed this to a value proposition. So now I tell people what I can do for them. I tell them the target audience, in other words, the people that I work with, 6-figure and 7-figure executives, and what I help them do. So I'm an executive search and career expert, help globally, in other words, all over the world, helping 6-figure and 7-figure executives get hired and paid what they're worth, all right? Now, if you are someone who works for a company, let me show you a couple of examples of value propositions of employees. One of them, these are both my clients. One of them is named Grant Flaherty. As you can tell, he's a real serious guy. He's a CEO. he wanted to look this way. He wanted to be serious. It wasn't my pick, but that's what he wanted to do. And he wanted this very bland background. And what he wanted, though, and what we did is put together a value proposition underneath his name. So we've got surging global growth and operational turnaround as a CEO. He was able to get a CEO offer within about 14 weeks, which is really, really quick for a CEO that is making about $500,000. So that is one of the things that got him noticed. And then if we take a look at somebody else, Mandy, here she's got a background of, and you know what? I don't think she is, it doesn't look like she's premium, and she does have a background photo. So it looks like you can do a background photo without being premium. So she's got a great professional picture. And we helped her build this value proposition, generating billions in revenue. And this is true, she really has, through brand loyalty and business transformation. Okay, now she's been able to do that because she's worked for a lot of really big companies like Dell, Citigroup, and eBay. So think about what you do and the audience you're trying to attract, and what business problems you solve, what gaps you fill, and really how to articulate your expertise. What do you do that will really be attractive to someone who is looking for you? Now, this is very important when someone is doing a search for somebody like you and your name comes up, because here's what they see. They see your name, they see your picture, and then they see this header. So a lot of times if it just says what your job title is, then it's not going to be compelling, and they really don't feel the need to click on you and find out more. However, if it says generating billions in revenue through brand loyalty and business transformation, boom, that gets their attention. Now with Mandy, cool story with her is that she was able to go well, I won't give you exact numbers, but we helped her get a total compensation package of about 2.5 times what she was making before. So literally 240% of what she was making before. And she just got an offer out of the blue from someone she sent her resume to before she got the eBay job that said, we want to offer you, and it was, well, it was literally 325% more than what she was making at her first job at Citi. So now she's coming back to me saying, hey, can you help me get this other job? And I said, absolutely. So this can really be the beginning of a great conversation with an employer or a recruiter. And if you are a business owner, it can be the beginning of a conversation with the type of client that you're looking to attract. Okay, so underneath this, you need a compelling summary section. Okay, so if you'll notice, they give you 2 lines before the fold. In other words, before you click on see more, you have 2 lines of someone, you have 2 lines of information that you can put that will capture their attention once they're on your profile. So as you can see, I've got internationally known for helping 6-figure and 7-figure clients land their perfect jobs fast and shave months off their searches. And then I click on see more, and it gives some more information about what I've done, and it gives some great information about being in the Wall Street Journal, NBC News, Bloomberg Business Week, and so on. And also that, well, some other stuff too. So on here, I've also added some media. I've added some PDFs, a brochure about our firm, a brochure about the 6-figure solution, and actually I need to update that to 2017, and then a video resume tips, 10 things to remove in an executive resume. So you don't normally think of what you need to remove. And I've got some other media that captures their attention. So how to be highly visible on LinkedIn. So these are videos that I've done on YouTube, and I've embedded them. And the way that you embed videos and any kind of media, and that includes PDFs, it could be PowerPoint presentations, slide shares. I like to do videos, but if you go up here to edit, so I just clicked edit, and then you come down here, and then it says media, add or link external documents, photos, sites, videos, presentations. You can upload them or you can put a link, okay? Now, this also says share profile changes. So if you're doing a confidential search and you're making these changes and you don't want your employer or any of your 500 plus connections to see that you're making major changes to your profile, you'll probably want to change this to no. However, for a lot of people, especially if you own a business, you want to change that to yes, because you want everyone to see that you're making profile changes. And then you click save, and then you can add this external media, okay? And then something I wanted to show you, for instance, with Grant, notice that he's got 10 years of experience, CEO experience, tripling business size through, and then it leaves you hanging and makes you want to see more. And then when you click more, then it has a video that has him in the news, a news release, and then also some videos that we did in my office that literally say, Grant, what type of companies do you help? As a CEO, how do you lead companies? Make somebody want to click on next. Give us an example of how you've grown a business. So it really gets people engaged in what he has. And also, look here, we've got stars, we've got lines. These are things that you can add that you weren't always able to add. And look at how much he's got listed on his on the summary section. And take a look at your summary section and see if there's more that you can add to make yourself more compelling. Okay, make yourself more attractive. And then something I wanted to show with Mandy, I helped her write some articles. Articles are really important. So this shows that she's got articles, and you can click on these articles and it will take you to the article and you can read those. Something I want to show you on articles that I've written, because articles are a great way to get somebody's really get somebody's attention. For instance, I've put on a recent post, and it said that I've had almost 2,000 views of the post. It shows me how many people have viewed my profile, and that's in the last 90 days. You can see this on your profile if you just go to view your profile, and when you click on it, it will actually show you who the viewers are and the percentage that has increased since last week, and it also shows where these viewers are from, okay? So that's something to keep in mind too. I'm going to move this a little bit so that I can hit my back button. Okay, so I will tell you that I wrote the most recent article. Here's something that can create your reputation as a thought leader, whether you're an executive or whether you're a business owner. It's really important that you set yourself apart. And it's easy to create an article on LinkedIn. You actually, I'm going to click on here, and you just choose a picture. You can choose any stock photo, anything that doesn't have, like I bought this stock photo a long time ago, but if you've got one that doesn't have a watermark on it, or it looks to be a good size, you can use that. And I wrote this particular one a couple of weeks ago, and I said, is your loyalty to your company costing you big time? It shows 58 likes, a comment, 9 shares, and then it'll tell you how many people, if you click on the stats, it will tell you how many people have looked at it. So I've actually had 404 clicks, and the clicks are actually, if you go back to the article, it's really not that long of an article. It took me maybe 15 minutes, but the click is connect with me on LinkedIn. So really, that's 400 and some clicks that I got, and I usually get 20 to 50 requests to connect every day. As a matter of fact, I get so many that I've outsourced saying yes to those, because I always engage them in a little bit of conversation, or at least a start of a dialogue, and I'll show you how to do that in just a little bit. So let's go to, I hope I've explained how important it is to write articles. And I tell you it's important because it does set you apart, whether you want to be seen as a thought leader in your industry because you're a business owner, or whether you want to be seen as a thought leader because you've had some great lessons that you learned or achievements that you'd like to talk about. You can do that in articles, and you can start an article from your homepage. It just says start a post or write an article. It's very, very easy to do. It's just like putting something in Word. As a matter of fact, I write my articles in Word, and then I copy and paste them over into LinkedIn, and it takes me 30 seconds. So going into experience, coming on down here, here's what I found is very important. If you're a business owner, you need to show some quantifiable results of what happens when people work with you. So give some examples of some of your successes as a business owner so that people want to do business with you. And then as a business owner, you also want to show what your expertise is. In other words, what do you do as a business? What do you do for people? So I've got a whole list of things that we do for people, okay? And then I've got some additional media, some a six-figure job search toolkit that people can download. So if you are let me go into Grant. If you are an employee, it is really important that you have quantifiable achievements with every job you've held, okay? And with quantifiable achievements, what I'm talking about are numbers. And if you don't have big dollar amounts, you can talk percentages. So you can talk about, for instance, successfully shaved personnel by 75%, improving the bottom line by $30 million annually. So that is really impressive to somebody who's looking for a CEO. And I'm going to show you Mandy. So she just started with eBay, so she doesn't have any quantifiable achievements yet, but with Citi, she's got responsible for $230 million in cost savings. At Dell, she was responsible for over $500 million in cost savings and $95 million in top line revenue. I mean, some really great numbers. So this is something that's going to capture attention from any employer or recruiter that sees her LinkedIn profile. So numbers are very important, and people are attracted to numbers, whether they are potential customers for you or whether they are potential employers or recruiters for you, okay? So scope of services as a business owner, and quantifiable results as a business owner, and quantifiable achievements for every job. And then something else you would want to do in your summary section, and I'll show you mine, is that you'll want to make it easy for them to contact you, and you want to give a call to action. And I believe that my call to action is in my experience, where it says, be sure and connect with me on LinkedIn and share in my huge network of contacts. So keep that in mind. And I do welcome each of you that are listening to this, whether live or later, to connect with me on LinkedIn. So just go to Tammy Kabell and just ask for a connection, and I will always connect with you. But something else that you want to do is in contact and personal info on the right-hand side, make it easy for them to find you. So I've got my work phone number, I've got my personal email address, I've got Twitter, and I've also got different websites such as my YouTube channel, my company website, my blog. And so make it easy, no matter whether you're a business owner or an executive. You want to make it easy for somebody to contact you directly, all right? And now we're going to scroll down to after experience. Now, something about experience. If you're a business owner, you don't really have to put a lot of information about your past business experience. For instance, for 10 years, I was with American Century Investments, but as a career coach and someone that helps executives get jobs, that really doesn't have anything to do with what I did at American Century. So I don't list anything because I don't want to detract people from what they should be paying attention to. Not only that, but actually nobody's ever asked me, tell me about your time at American Century Investments, because nobody really cares. However, if you're an executive, it really is important to put all of that information everywhere that you worked. You want to have at least 2 bullet points for everywhere that you've worked. So underneath your experience, you want to put your education, and then underneath your education, let's talk about featured skills and endorsements. Most people have these. You are allowed now 50 skills. So if you don't have 50 skills, you can put 50 skills. Now I want to click on this. I want you to understand that these aren't things that you actually choose from a list. These are things that you write in yourself, and people who have worked with you can write them in themselves and add an endorsement to you that may be completely different than what you've put in. For instance, I did not put in recruiting because I've never been a recruiter, but yet 27 people have endorsed me for recruiting because they think I've done a good job with recruiting for some reason. But it's important to remember that all of these skills and experience factors, all of these are the keywords and phrases that if you are a business owner, it would be your clients and if potential clients. And if you're an executive, it would be recruiters and employers. It's your target audience. It's the keywords and phrases that your target audience is going to use up here in the search field to try to find you. So you want to make sure that you are saying things that make sense up here and in the search field, okay? So like some of these I probably could take off. For instance, maybe training, although I do training, and personal development, not so much. I could probably take that off. Healthcare, I don't need that. However, there are a lot of people that work in healthcare that work with me. Definitely one that I can take off is Vizio. I've never worked with Vizio in my life, but yet 9 people have endorsed me for it. I have no idea why. So look and see what people have endorsed you for and what you have. Make sure you've got 50 skills. There's something else that I want to offer you today, and that is if you want to email me, and again, I'm going to show you my email. It's tammy@beyondjobsearching.com. If you don't know what skills to put, I can send you something that I've put together that's got 208 different transferable skills and achievements and experience factors that you can put on there. So you can email me and say, can you send me your list of transferable skills? And I can send you that, and you can choose from those and put those onto your LinkedIn profile, okay? So just know that that's free, and because you're listening to this, I would love to give that to you. But you do want to make sure that you've got all 50 on here. And then recommendations. It's important that you have recommendations. I actually have not followed my own advice. I don't ask for recommendations. However, if you are looking for a job, or if you don't have any recommendations and you'd like to have some more, what you can do is send someone that's worked with you, whether it be a client, or if you're an executive, somebody that has been a supervisor or someone that you've supervised, or even a customer or a vendor or supplier. You can send them 2 or 3 questions and say, for instance, for me, I would say, what was your job search like before you started working with me? How has that changed since you worked with me? What would you like to tell a potential client about me in working with me? And so that's what I would say in an email, and they would send it back, and then I would put it all together in just a couple of paragraphs, and I would send it back to them, and I'd say, thank you so much for this feedback. I love it so much. I would love for you to add it as a LinkedIn recommendation. Here's my LinkedIn profile, and you just give them a link, and I would love for you to add this as a recommendation on my LinkedIn profile. And so just ask them to do that, and they usually will do it for you. But if you just ask for a LinkedIn recommendation, oftentimes they don't know what to put. If you are working for somebody else, then some of the questions you could ask would be, what are the 3 words that you would use to describe me? And what's the biggest achievement that you can think of that I've done while working with you or while knowing you? And then what would you like to tell an employer at any time? What would you like to tell an employer about me? And you can start that email out just by saying, hey, I'm gathering some feedback for my annual performance appraisal, and I'd love to get a response from you. And usually if you say something like that, it's not intimidating, and they will put that down very easily. You'll usually get about an 80% response rate. And then that means that instead of getting 10 or 15% of people that you ask to do a LinkedIn recommendation, because almost nobody will do them if you ask them. But if you just ask for feedback and then you give it back to them in an email and have them put it in a LinkedIn recommendation, you can gather these. I was actually told by a few recruiters that if a candidate does not have at least 6 LinkedIn recommendations, they aren't really considered. So if you are looking for an executive job, I would recommend that you get at least 6 LinkedIn recommendations, okay? And then underneath that, you can put any certifications that you have, and you can also put any projects that you've worked on. So if you've got particular projects that you're proud of, you can list them specifically under accomplishments. So you just do that by clicking add, and you can add any of these projects, publications, any organizations you're a part of, honors and awards, and your language, any courses that you've taken. So really you can put a lot of different things under accomplishments now. Okay, so if there's any projects that you'd like to put, I literally could list, if I wanted to, specific people that I've worked with, not mentioning their name, but just saying, I helped a CEO get a job in 9 weeks, and I helped a COO get a $450,000 job in 4 weeks. I mean, that stuff's really impressive. Now, those are outliers. That's why I don't usually talk about those in something like this. But you can talk about averages, or you can talk about specific projects that you're very impressed with yourself, okay? And then at the bottom, let's talk about interests. These used to be groups. They actually used to separate them out into people that you would follow, or for instance, the Huffington Post that you would follow, and then groups that you would be a part of. Now they just say interests. Let me talk about interests. You're actually allowed up to 100 groups now. You used to be only allowed up to 50 groups. They've expanded that to 100 groups, and this is why this is so important. You want to be a part of as many groups as possible, because if you are a member of the same group as somebody who is doing a search for someone like you, then you come up to the top of the search results. So their first level connections will come up first, their second level connections will come up second, then their group members, in other words, people that are part of the same groups, and then their third level connections and everyone else. So if you want to be more visible, belong to a lot of groups. Now, here's something to consider when you're looking for groups, and you look for groups up here in the search bar. You can search for groups by geography, and I'm in Kansas City, Missouri, so I can look at Kansas City job seekers, or Kansas City executives. Or you can search by industry. So I can look under healthcare, I can look under any kind of industry like technology. I can look under really industry that I want to and belong to those groups, even if I've never held, like I'm part of healthcare groups, I'm part of technology groups, but I've never worked for a technology company or a healthcare company. So you can be a part of these organizations and choose the larger groups, choose the big ones. You can also do a function such as marketing or leadership or IT or accounting, and then also the level of job. So for instance, you could look at just executives. So for instance, if I click on here, I could, if I just click on that search, then you could do people, jobs, posts, companies, groups, and schools. So you can go to groups, and then you can search in groups for whatever it is that you want to look for. These are TED Talks. These are some of the bigger ones. So you can search for a lot. I think these are groups actually that I already belong to. But you can search for a tremendous amount of groups. Here's the deal. With each group, you have to ask to be a part of that group. So let's just say I'm going to search for Bay Area executives. Okay, now I'm not in the Bay Area, but I want to be a part of Bay Area executives. So here's the Bay Area Sales Executive Group. I'm going to click on that. And you have to ask to be a part. Oh, now it says it doesn't exist, so I guess it went away. So if I wanted to discover groups, I could just click on Discover, and the executive coach, interesting. With any of these groups, you have to ask to join. So I'm going to ask to join this one, and then it says request pending, and then I have to wait for somebody who is an administrator of that group to approve me, but I've never had anybody not approve somebody who has asked to belong to a group. And you can only ask for, I'm going to ask to join this one. You can only ask for 10 at a time. And then after 10, it says you've reached your limit of open pendings. You have to wait till somebody approves you, and then you're allowed to ask for more. But I would continue to ask and ask and ask until you reached your 100, because it's really important to be a part of a lot of groups. Okay, I'm going to go back to view profile. So I'm going to give you a couple of more things, and then I'm going to open it up for questions. One is, if you want to cheat, if you want to figure out, okay, how do I make myself the most visible as possible? Because we talked about how to make yourself compelling, which is give yourself a lot of quantifiable results. I say use a lot of salesy language, persuasive language, because that's what you're trying to do, is persuade. And and then, like for instance, specialties. Main specialty, getting our clients their perfect 6-figure and 7-figure positions while getting them paid what they're worth. I really drive home that paid what you're worth piece. Something else that makes me compelling is all of the media that I add, because it turns it into your own miniature website rather than just having a little bit of information on LinkedIn. But if I want to be really seen, there is a cheating way to be seen, and that is to do a search for exactly the same type of person that you want to be seen as. In other words, like I want to be seen as an executive career firm. So I want to be seen as someone who owns an executive career firm. Now, let's say I am Mandy and I want to be a VP of customer experience. What I would do is I would do a search and I would pretend that I was a recruiter, and I'm going to do a search for VP of customer experience. And I'm going to see who comes up because I want to see who is most visible. Now keep in mind, first level connections are going to come up first. Second level connections, these are the people results for VP of customer experience. My first level connections are coming up first, then my second level connections. And what I want to get to is the top of the list of third level connections. Now, I've got a lot, I literally have like 2 million second level connections. So I don't know that I'm going to get to third level connections until I get to maybe page 9 or 10. And even at that point, yep, it's still first and second level connections. But let's say I get to a third level connection. Like for instance, this person does not, it shows that I have shared connections, but it doesn't say that, that I am first or second level connection. So I want to know, what is Diana's secret? So I'm going to click on her, and it says VP Customer Experience at Essilor. So then I'm going to find out, what is it that she has on her LinkedIn profile that makes her so visible, that makes her come to the top of the list of search results. So she's got a lot of specific specialties, for instance, process improvement, Six Sigma, contact center operations, reporting and analytics. Those are the types of keywords that every VP of customer experience should have. Okay, then I would also look down here and see, okay, what does she have that I don't? So what you'd want to do is say, do I have all of these? And if I do, maybe I copy these and I paste them into my own summary, or I use them down on the featured skills and endorsements. So she's got 50 skills. She knows what she's doing. And you would want to look at those skills and say, okay, what kind of skills do I have that are the same thing? Strategic planning, vendor management, performance management. And so it's showing you what is most attractive when you're doing a search for VP of customer experience. I hope that makes sense. That you're looking for what makes her so impressive that she rises to the top of the search results, and then you want to do what she has. For instance, her top one is customer experience, of course. And so you want to make sure that you've got customer experience listed as one of your skills. And then people will start endorsing you for that. And then she also has a lot of the other things like change management and operations management that are very important to customer experience at the VP level. Okay? So you want to do that cheat. one more thing that I want to show you, because I told you we had a lot of information to cover, and that is, for instance, my network. I'm going to click on here. So since this morning, I've had 10 new invitations, and I want to show you what I actually, like I told you, I outsource what I do here, but what I do is, or have my admin do, is go to Joseph's actual, I look at his profile, and then okay, so he's IT, he's a technology professional. I can scroll down here and see what he's done. He's gone to Capella University, and he's got some volunteer experience. I'm going to actually mention that he has got IT leadership experience. So I'm going to accept, and what I mean by IT leadership experience is that once I accept, I click on congratulations, Joseph is now a connection. So I'm going to click on here. Now it says pending because I clicked on it too fast. I'm just going to go ahead and refresh that. And when I refresh it, it's going to say send a message. So I'm going to send a message down here. And I'm going to say, hi, Joseph. So once I've accepted his request, I'm actually going to, now this is something that is a little bit tricky, but I'm doing something called Auto Text Expander. So if you look up in Google Chrome, Auto Text Expander Google Chrome add-on, you can actually put something together where you put in just a few characters and it will expand out into something that you have already pre-written. So I'm going to talk about his technology leadership experience. So I'm going to go LLL for leadership. And what that did is change it, believe it or not, to say, I truly appreciate the connection, especially with someone having your leadership. And I'm going to say technology leadership experience, and I always love connecting with rock stars. Everybody loves being called a rock star, and I truly believe everybody is a rock star. And then I say, if there's ever anything I can do for you or anyone I can connect you with, please feel free to reach out to me, and then you can contact me directly at my email address or our office. If you'd like to have a conversation about your current career situation, feel free to set up a meeting with me by visiting my calendar app, and that is Calendly. Calendly is like Time Trade, and basically if he clicks on that, then he can set up an appointment with me directly. And it says, given my busy schedule, this is the very best way to get a hold of me. Warm regards, Tammy Kabell, and then I'm going to send it. So I've sent him that. That is starting a dialogue. And you would be surprised how many people, like currently right now, I've got 23 people lined up that want to talk with me based upon just using this technique. So this is a way to get leads constantly. As you have people that want to be in your network, you just say yes, but then you start talking with them afterwards. And Auto Text Expander, which is actually up here, it actually walks you through how to do it. We really don't have time to go through how to do that, but you can do Auto Text Expander and just put in a few characters that you choose, and it will put in something that you've already preloaded. So now he's got that. And I don't even have to do this. I have my admin do it every day, and then all I have to do is show up to the meetings. It's pretty cool. So that's the end of my presentation, and at this time I want to go ahead and I'm going to stop sharing so that Michele can get back on. And Michele, go ahead and wrap it up for us.
Sure.
And any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
Yeah. Thank you, Tammy. Gosh, that was so informative. I was over here taking mad, furious notes as always. And I've been through this stuff with you before. There's always something new that I learn when we talk. So I've unmuted you all. So who has a question for Miss Tammy? I know I do, but I'll let y'all go first. Any questions?
Wendy had her hand up.
Miss Wendy.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Tammy, can you repeat the size of the background image?
Yes. Let me bring that up.
I have it as 974 by 330.
Yes, and it's in pixels. So it's 974 by 330 pixels.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Who else had a question? Well, my question, Tammy, I'm a big believer in getting those written recommendations from people.
Yes.
That's like gold, right?
It is.
Third-party endorsements is really, really key. And I was looking around while you were talking, and for some reason, I can't seem to find where to ask for recommendations. I can see my recommendations and I can see the ones that I've asked, but how is there a particular place where we can go to send a note saying, hey, can you write a recommendation for me?
Sure. So if you're if you go to me and then view profile, okay? And then you scroll down. Let's go down to recommendations and let's click on here.
You want to do it, share your screen again, Tammy?
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I've got to make sure that I know what I'm talking about, right? So
it's all right. You're amongst friends. It's all good.
Well, I am still looking. Got save. You know, since the new user interface, they've changed the ask for a recommendation. Let me look really quickly.
Because I went into recommendations to edit, and I can edit, like show or not show the ones I received, and give ones that I've given. And I have 10 recommendation requests, but nowhere can I find anymore where I can ask specific people for recommendations.
Yeah, that used to be something that we could do. And I think probably since I can't find.
I have an answer. This is
good.
Jen. I have an answer.
Jen.
I went through this frigging nightmare myself with a client who was dying to give me a recommendation. So what you have to do is go to their profile and you click on the 3 dots at the top of their profile, and there's a request recommendation and also a recommend option.
I love it.
Yeah, love that they'll move it again next week, I'm sure. But that's where it is right
now. So if I go to your profile, Jen, to the 3 dots, I can request a recommendation or recommend. Oh, okay. I see. Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, I hate it when they move stuff all around. I'm like, ugh, I had it figured out. Now you turn my world upside down again. Quit it.
That's great. Jen. Thank you.
Who else has questions? Any other insights or ahas to share?
This is Jen again with a question. I guess I earned a question. So I'm wondering, how can I allow visibility of, like, I don't mind people seeing when I request to connect with them, or they're looking at my profile, you know, who's our second or shared contacts. But what I hate is when people reach out to my contacts and they're just, you know, trying to build up their network without any connection, any contact. I like the idea of people seeing how connected we are if they're thinking about connecting to me, but I don't like, you know, them just trying to fill up their their contacts by pinging all mine by seeing we're connected. Do you know what I mean? And is there a way to control that?
The only way to control it is when you are in your account settings and privacy. You can, and let me look under, it's under privacy, and it's, let me check. It's about connections. I'm looking. Let's see. Okay, so who can see your connections? So you really would have to change that to no one. So if you wanted, you know, if you connect with somebody and you're saying only your first level connections or your first and second level connections can see your connections, you would really have to change that to nobody, and that's under profile privacy.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, unfortunately. I wish there was another way to do that, but there's really no way to not make them take advantage of that. You know, I mean, it's if they're going to take advantage of your shared connections, then they're going to take advantage of it, or your other connections.
And along those lines, Jen, I always like to come from the mindset of there's plenty, right? So instead of trying to hold tight to things, like, you know, there's however many millions of users on LinkedIn, and there's plenty to share. So I look at it as the more you give, the more you receive. So.
Oh, I agree with that, but I literally in the last week have had a couple of my contacts be annoyed by that. So I agree, but some people get annoyed. So it is what it is.
Oh, I can understand. Sure. Wonderful. Any other questions out there? Nope. All right. Well, let's see. Just a few things. So thank you. Let's give Tammy a big virtual round of applause. Yay!
Yay!
Thank you.
Thank you so much for this amazing information. I'm going to remind everybody, too, that our next regular Wonder Woman Unite call is going to be July 21st, Friday, July 21st, same bat time, 9:30 a.m. Pacific, 12:30 Eastern, and 5:30 British UK, and then beyond into tomorrow for our people on the other side of the planet, my friends in Brisbane. And so if there are particular topics that you all would like to discuss on the Wonder Woman calls, please email me either in the Facebook group or my personal email, which is Michele, Michele, at Nectar, Nectar, consulting, consulting.com, and happy to expand, you know, whatever you guys want to talk about, we can talk about that will support you in your growth and your leadership. And if you know of other experts like Ms. Tammy that you would like to hear from, please feel free to connect them to me, and I can put in a request and see if they'd like to come on next month's Expert Hour call. So the more you connect, the more we share with each other, the more we can support each other, and we all grow. So a rising tide lifts all boats. So thank you, Tammy, again. Such a blessing to have you here with us. And I will be downloading the video and getting it uploaded to our sites so everyone can take advantage of it. And if you have any questions after you get off the call with Tammy, can you please share your email address with us again so they have that?
Absolutely. It is Tammy, which is TAMMY, at beyondjobsearching.com.
Beautiful. Beautiful. And be sure to check out Tammy's website, careerresumeconsulting.com. She has tons of free information and videos and resources there for those of you who are in some kind of career search. So with that, I want to wish you all a wonderful day. Stay cool if it's hot where you are. Stay dry if it's wet where you are. And stay safe above and beyond. And I'll look forward to having you all on next month's Wonder Woman call. Thank you so much for being here. It's my sincere pleasure as always. And I'll talk to you soon. Y'all have a great day.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye.